What's going on, guys? Asal here, and today we're doing a weapon review of the SR-2 PDW. Now, this is a naval strike weapon, and this is another one of those just good weapons. Naval strike had some really great weapons, and the SR-2 is definitely one of those weapons that Battlefield 4 has brought that is actually like pretty good, because we've had some weapons in the past DLCs that have just kind of been sort of meh. So the SR-2 is definitely one of the better PDWs out there. So to unlock this weapon, you must complete the Packing a Punch assignment, which requires you to destroy 20 boats, which doesn't really sound like all that many, but in reality, when you sit down and try to kill 20 boats, it really does take quite a long time. So I can say I can shamelessly say that I boosted this. So that's that. So let's jump into the stats of this weapon. We have a pretty high rate of fire at 900 rounds per minute. We have a pretty normal PDW damage model, except we do 26 damage maximum instead of 25. Now we have a very low bullet velocity at 310 meters per second, which is actually the lowest out of all the PDWs excluding the Asal, though that is already suppressed, so I don't really count that. We have a magazine size of 31 rounds, and we have a very high horizontal recoil at 0.45 degrees in each direction, and we have a low vertical recoil at 0.29. Now the reload is the short reload. I say short very, I don't really want to say short. It's 2.6 seconds, which is quite long, and the long reload is 3.5 seconds, which is very long. Now the first shot recoil is just a pretty standard PDW model at a 2.3 times multiplier. Now I really recommend the Compensator on this weapon, definitely, because first of all, we have a huge vertical or horizontal recoil on this weapon at 0.45 on each side, and I tried using the muzzle brake just cause I tried using it without any attachment at all, and if they're not right in front of you, your shots are bouncing all over the place, making this weapon very difficult to use. So I definitely do recommend that Compensator for the barrel attachment, and even then, we can't actually really use the suppressor, which is another popular attachment to use for the barrel on the PDWs, because our bullet velocity is at 310 meters per second. If we throw a suppressor on there, we will be even lower, making it even more difficult to land those shots, because I was already finding it a little bit hard to land those shots on targets that were moving because of that bullet velocity being so low. So definitely, I do recommend that Compensator, because the suppressor, I mean, you could use a suppressor, but it definitely is not what I would recommend, because it is so hard to land those shots without the Compensator in the first place. Now, the reload time really is what kind of turns me off of this weapon. That's not to say it's not a good weapon. It is a very good weapon, and it does kill very quickly, but this reload time really did get me time and time again, because this is a weapon that you will be using in close quarters, because it is a PDW, and that is generally what a PDW entails, being in close quarters. So 2.6 seconds, it doesn't sound like that long, but when you're in close quarters and you really need to get your bullets in your gun right away, it feels like forever. When you're at more of a long range, you don't really notice it as much, and you can kind of get away with hiding, reloading, and getting right back into the action. But because our aiming down sight accuracy is 0.4, we have such a low bullet velocity, we need to be in close quarters, and that recoil really does hurt us. And not to mention the long reload at 3.5 seconds is very long, and we also have a fire rate of 900 rounds per minute, so it's very likely that we will use up the entire clip, and that is a huge amount of time to take yourself out of the battle. As I said, it's not that bad if you're at range, but 3.5 seconds is a lot of time to take yourself out of the action, especially when we will be reloading so often. Now overall, this is a great gun. It has a high rate of fire at 900 rounds per minute. We have a good damage model, so you will be taking down enemies very, very fast, so that's great, and that makes this weapon very good for killing people. That reload, though, it does kind of turn me off from this weapon, though. The recoil is also a little bit high. That is also a little bit of a turnoff, but definitely not that much as the reload, because the recoil is manageable with that Compensator. So overall, this is a good solid PDW, though the reload, it can be a little annoying, but overall I still do recommend this weapon, despite what I've said earlier, because you can get very fast kills, and overall it's a fun weapon to use, because you can get those just super quick kills. And another really nice thing about this weapon is the first sight you get is actually the Cobra Site, which is one of my favorite sights next to the Coyote Sight, of course, and it is just so much nicer than that blocky red dot sight that takes up so much of your screen. So guys, that's really all I have to say about the SR-2 PDW. So leave a comment down below letting me know if you enjoy this weapon. Do you find this useful? Do you find the reload a little annoying? I know a lot of people really love this weapon, though I was finding the reload just a little too much to handle. Not too much to handle, but just definitely a little bit of a turnoff compared to some other weapons. So guys, that's really all I have to say about the SR-2. So guys, remember, if you have enjoyed this video, do please hit that like button, and if you want to see more Battlefield content, please do subscribe to my channel. And also guys, notice there's a G2A link at the top of this description. If you want to get Battlefield 4 or Premium for cheap, please do head there. It helps me out. I can get more money and just kind of recoup the cost that I've put into my channel. So guys, that's all I have to say. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.